again, what I want to talk about is something that we can all together go through. So you're going to get the value. So what are the new features and resources in Power BI that you should be aware of? And the good thing is, I'm going to tell you about some free trainings that now are in Power BI for us all to take advantage of. So Power BI has a dedicated website. Let me try and get us the link, where anytime you want to catch up on what's new, what is new, Power BI blog, and any new, what's new, and whatever information that you should be aware of, this is the best place to go to. So I'm going to grab the link and share with you right now. Sharing the link. Chat box. Then I've shared this slide. If you have not noticed that I've shared the slide, check your chat box. You will see that I've shared the slide for this session. So I'm trying to paste the link right in the chat box so that you can follow along. All right, so while that is happening, I can keep on talking. So now there are some free trainings that Microsoft has put together. Microsoft is doing a lot. Let me give you some insider gist. Microsoft is working hard on the BI side of things. And when I say BI side of things, Power BI is more like an amalgamation of two things. Power BI is more like there's the business, there's the Excel type side of it, the formulas, the data cleansing, data matching up. So the aspect that most of us who are already Excel users, I'm pasting the major resource, major blog for Power BI announcements and updates. So I'm pasting that right now so I can get that over with. Right, so they are working on trying to improve their experience on the BI side. So you'll find out that every month they keep pushing new updates. Maybe they push out 10 updates this month. It might just be 3 out of the 10 that will relate to the formulas, that will relate to the Excel type kind of thing, the thing that you do on your Microsoft Power BI desktop. And the remainder, the 7 other updates, will be things relating to the BI side, the BI service, the other things that might integrate with Azure, the things that will integrate with cloud services, the things that are going to be completely not tied to the Power BI desktop. So I want you not to miss out, and that's why I'm mentioning that these trainings are now geared towards helping me too, because I need the help, us to be able to be aware of those features and to use them. So you'll find out that there's not so much information about those aspects of Power BI, and Microsoft is trying to fill the gap. They are making efforts, serious efforts, and that's the result. One of the results of those efforts is what I'm showing us on this slide. So let me just repaste the slide deck so you can download instantly and you can be able to access the link also. So let's start with this one. So on the 24th and 25th of February, there's going to be a training. It's more on the US time zone. So for those of us, right in the middle of the planet, it will be like afternoon for us. So this is a good timing, right? So if I click on the link, so watch, you'll see more details about it. So let me just increase the zoom of my screen. And you will see that the trainers are actually MVPs, and I think some people within Microsoft too. So they deliberately, I don't know if they're going to pay them or if it's free, but they know that there is that gap. Many of us are so much embedded, so much focused on the Power BI desktop that we lose out of the other wonderful things or the other powerful things there is to the BI side of it, the Power BI service, the one that is web-driven, cloud-driven side of it. So let's take a look at what they intend to cover, right? You can even download the attendee course materials if you click on this link. So if you follow the link in the, let me see if I can just paste the link directly for us in the chat box. So this link, and if you follow it, there is also a link to download the course materials. Let's see if that downloads for me. You can download yourself. Okay, great. You see, so we are given the course material ahead, and let me see if there's where they illustrated what we have to cover. It's written. Okay, they didn't break down what the agenda is, but this second one did a good job of listing out what we have to cover. So if you look at the second one, join us Power BI Dev Camp. You know how you're going to be able to develop .NET 5 and have own data embedding. All these things look a bit on the programming side, but you'll find out that they're already templates already set up. You are not going to be having to, do things from scratch. And you might find out that with the templates, you're able to derive as much value as you will need. So I always try, it's only if I'm not opportune, maybe no time or clashing with something else, I try to attend these sessions, be aware of things, be able to see, even if in the end you think you are not going to do them or they're going to require some skills above you, you will know what to ask from someone else. So if I'm going to get somebody to do it for me, I will know what to ask. I will even know where I need the person. So it's not going to be like, I don't even know what's possible, or if I want to get someone to help me do something that someone has done with this kind of stuff Microsoft is trying to explain, I then have to pay for the person to do it entirely when maybe I could have done some parts myself easily and better than the person. So try to join these sessions. That's all what I'm trying to say anyway. I'm going to move on to the second slide. Let me paste this link also. You will notice that we don't have as many participants today as we normally have. It's because we don't have guests. So I didn't do too much promotion, too much announcement, and that's just what it is. So I'm going to move on to the next slide of the other resources you should be aware of. Okay, so the free trainings, there's a training coming 24th and 25th. I've shared the link. There's also a programming focused one on Power BI embedded. Again, I've shared the link. Then there are also some free tools. Okay, so let's start with these best practices. Many of us know that it can be really problematic to keep track of all the rules you should be aware of. Don't do too many calculated tables. Delete on unused columns, and the things to do to make your model faster, smaller, and also just fulfilling the best practices requirements. But you know what the problem is? The problem is that the problem is that there are a lot. The rules are a lot that even when you know them, sometimes for me now, I know that I'm supposed to format my formulas well. There's some rules I know, but when I'm trying to battle a problem, customer is on my neck, they want me to show some reports, I'm still battling with the data to figure out where what is, what I need is, and then how to join the different tables together. Most times I don't have that time to follow the rules that I even know, especially if they're going to slow me down. I try to get the thing out first, then go back to start seeing how much. But then the problem is I never really have the free time. I think I will have to go back and start going through everything and implementing the rules as I know them. But you know what? Here, Microsoft and some other guys, they have aggregated all these rules. So let me paste the link for you. They have aggregated the rules, and then they didn't stop there. So you will notice, these are the rules, and they've gone ahead to also create a tool to make it easy for us to be able to run our report through these validation processes. So there's something, I will show you how to do it anyway, that will just run through all of your model and let you be aware which rules you've broken, which best practices you need to go check out that you need to apply to your model because you maybe have ignored them so far. So I'm going to tell you how it works, but these are all the the things that is been pre-programmed to check out in your model, right? So how you do it is, number one, you install Tabular Editor. So if you click on Tabular Editor, the link is there. So I've shared the link, you'll see. Once you install Tabular Editor, in fact, even if you don't intend to use it for this thing I'm saying, Tabular Editor is something you should install because it's becoming, in conjunction with Dark Studio, a must-have tool for anybody serious about doing Power BI. You don't want to do on where I think there's a background. You don't want a situation where you are struggling just because you've limited yourself to the default Power BI tools. You're not aware of the Dark Studio. Let me also show you Dark Studio in case you've not installed it. So Dark Studio is another must-have tool for anyone who is seriously using, or should I say, learning Power BI. Okay, there are things that I do a lot that if I didn't have Dark Studio, I'll be suffering unnecessarily, or you will start thinking it's not possible to do them. So back to these best practices. Once you install Tabular Editor, right, you simply just copy this script. So what this does is it connects to a GitHub file. So you see someone has put up the rules as a GitHub file. And if I copy this and paste here, you will see the specification of the rules. Again, I don't want to go too much into the nitty-gritty of it, but you will see someone has decided to code all these rules, and you don't have to do too much. All you have to do is simply copy this and copy this. Go to your Power BI. So the thing is, if you have installed Tabular Editor, once you go to Power BI and you go to external tools, right? Ordinarily, I think you should see the Tabular Editor there straight up. But if you are not so sure, you can always use the search. My Windows is overtaken by my okay, I'm going to temporarily come out of because I need to see this actually, and it's not letting me see. I'm going to minimize these, cancel for now, minimize this. You can come in here and type Tabular Editor, and you will see it if you have installed. But then this is where I go usually. I simply go to Power BI. I go to external tools. Don't mind that mine has a lot of things. What is important for you will be these two segments. So it will be these two. And in this case, I'm talking about this particular one. So if you click on it, it's going to launch the Tabular Editor. And then you will be pasting in. So where is mine? I need to click on it again to bring it up to the front. Great. So let me increase my zoom. So what I do is, if you follow the instruction, you paste in the advanced scripts. Again, you don't have to try to memorize it. That link lists out the steps. Once I paste it here, I run the script. Then I go to tools, and you will see manage BPA practices, and instantly you will see these rules have already been put into your Tabular Editor. So from here on, you can be able to check your model, your work, if you follow the rules exactly as they should be. So let me just take you back to this site. So you see, once you've done all of these, you've installed. When I say installed, you've copied this, you've pasted there, you close and you open the tabular practice, and then you've seen what I did to check it here. And so anytime you are working on any report and you want to quickly see if there are things you need to do to improve your work, then this will help you. Okay, so I'm going to, before I start sounding too technical, let me go to something else. All right, maybe if I have time after we've gone through all of it, then I can pick some specific things and do an elaborate demo on them. All right, so This is from current slide. Great. So I think we were here. Okay. So that's one free tool that you should take advantage of, right? Then Microsoft added well, not so many as what they did in December, but then still, I think there are one or two I should let you be aware of. So new features that they have added to Power BI. So let's start with one I think is really, really interesting you should be aware of, is the ability to batch all your filters and apply only when you are ready. So for me, I found this to be something that would be useful for me for some reports I do. So there are some reports I do where once I change something in the filter, then the thing times off for some seconds before I can continue again. So let me show you what this means. If you go to Power BI and then you go to options, file, and you go to options, and you go to options, it should come up now. Great. Let me zoom. So if you scroll down a bit here, you'll see query reduction, right? So this is a section that Power BI has now put together all the things you can do, almost like not close to it entirely, but similar to it. If you use Excel and you know this part where you could say you want to turn off automatic calculation and manual calculation, the only reason we do that is when you're working on a really large file and you want to do all what you want to do first before the calculation, the automatic refresh starts to work. So there are some times that you want to do something like that, but in this case, around your queries in Power BI, and you want to say, you know what, I don't want my slicers to instantly apply. I want it to be until I click on an apply button. I don't want my filters to instantly apply. There should be an apply button that I can click on when I'm ready. So I wouldn't change the one for slicers because I don't think the good is going to be as great as the danger. You know, imagine you have slicers and someone is clicking on it, but he doesn't know the figures have not changed and is thinking as a figure for what he has picked. So that's not going to be a nice experience. But then for filter, yeah, I think for filter it makes a lot of sense because the filter we're talking about, these are filters on a dedicated page. So for you making the report, so I'm going to not change it, but just to mention that if I wanted to, I can add a single apply button. And sorry, I need some energy boost. I can click on the apply on a single apply button, and that's what will happen, right? I don't want to do that yet, so just to show you that, or maybe let's try it. So let's see. I have a filter here. So you will notice that before I do that, I don't have, once you pick a filter, it just applies instantly. As you can see, currently I have Fidelity Bank, UBA, Zenith Bank. If I go in here and I look for maybe Access Bank and I had Access Bank, it instantly adds it. It doesn't do a kind of waiting for me to do an additional step before that happens. It instantly happens. I can see Access Bank here. Okay, now if I go there to these options, and wait for it, yeah, and then I go here, I choose the query reduction, I say add a single apply button to the filter pane to apply changes at once, and from this moment on, I'm going to have an apply button showing at the bottom. This wasn't showing before, right? So if I make changes here, so I'm going to take out some records or maybe add more records. So let's say I look for First Bank, FBN. Let me turn this off. So I look for First Bank, FBN Holdings. I had it Now, I'm not going to notice this happen here. See, it's not showing as it will have shown instantly until I click on apply. So I can start changing different things in the filter over here, right? Filter over here. But until let me see if I can reduce my zoom. Well, it's not. But until I click on apply before I'm going to notice the change. So that's how this one works. So now when I click apply, I should now be able to see the first bank. Where is it? See, FBNH is now there. So that's how this works, right? I'm going to go now to the other things here. Okay, so other features that Microsoft added to the 2021 January update. You see on the left here, there's a zoom slider. In fact, let's just click on the link so that I can go through it in that one page that they have collated all of it. Okay. Okay, so I've explained filters. You've seen me demonstrate that. I think it would be cool for you to also see. By the way, you can customize the color. Instead of the default yellow, you can pick a different color. You know, it was yellow that came up when this visual zoom slider is another interesting thing. So it works on the X and Y kind of chart. Let's see if I can quickly pull up a demonstration for it. So it allows you to, let me go back here. Let me click on a new page. Let me add the scatter charts. And they call it Cartesian. So let me just go check if I have it turned on in my options. So preview, if I go to preview, so let's take a quick look through them all. Zoom. Okay. I'm going to do a quick search for Cartesian map. Okay, so doing a quick search. I just feel it would be nice to demonstrate it rather than just show you. Did I spell it wrongly? Okay. See? Which your X and Y is one of them. And instantly you should see zoom slider. Okay. That's strange. Mine isn't coming up. Let's look at it together. So here I should instantly see the zoom slider. Let me just check. Let's see. That's the main chart that has it anyway. It's just strange that it's not coming up in mine, and I've updated. Okay, not to waste too much time, we'll move to something else. But as you can see, they did a very good demonstration of it here. You are able to adjust. It's like a play axis kind of thing, but you're able to just zoom into the aspects you want to display. So you get something like this. Okay, so it's really nice. It's cool. Then that's the only other one I felt is really cool to demonstrate to us. Every other one I didn't see as a major game changer. So I'm going to go on to my next slide. So there's this thing called query folding, right? When you your steps on. So let me show you what I mean. When you go to Power Query, which for Power BI is by clicking on Transform Data. So when you click on Transform Data, and then you are in Power Query. Now, every step that you do, if I come in here and I say I want to filter, and I want, date filter, I want the last, how many years now? Say I want after 2010. So I want is after or equal to, picking here. So I'm going to go all the way to 2010, go all the way to the first month and pick the first date, and I do OK. So as we expect, there's going to be the step added here, right? So what Microsoft has done is, for the Power Query Online, they have added icons that allow you to see if this step you've done is folding correctly for the, because what happens is I'm connected to a database. In case you do not know, let me show you. So I'm connected to a database that if I turn on the formula bar, you're going to see. So I'm connected to this database, right? So everything I do here is translated back to SQL kind of queries. So query folding is saying how well did the Power BI or Power Query translate what you've done into a query that the underlying DB can understand easily. So you'll see different icons, right? Folding means what you did translates perfectly well to an SQL native query that can be pushed directly to the DB. Then not folding means, that particular step, will be evaluated outside of your data source. It is not folding, it's not being able to natively push to the DB as an SQL query. Rather, what happens is Excel will still, or Power Query will still, or Power BI, but let's say Power Query inside of Power BI or inside of Excel. It's going to first pull in the data and then run the steps. After pulling in data, it can't natively push that step against the DB. So that's what this does. But unfortunately, it's just for the Power Query Online. So if you don't know, there's a Power Query Online. Let me show you how you get there. So if I go to a workspace, you have to go to a specific workspace. So let me zoom my screen. So if I go to my project workspace, and then if I go in here, so if I say I want to go to data flow, right? If I go to data flow, this is the gateway to Power Query in Power BI Online, Power BI services. So I even want to check out the ones I've done before. I don't want to create a new one. So anyway, I'm going to say, so let's say I want to link to existing entities. So I'm going to choose, this is me, sign in as me. As you can see up here, can you see Power Query? Are you noticing Power Query up here? All right, so great. If you notice that, then that's great. As you can see, it's showing me my data sets already. Now that very data set I'm on, I think it's the, let's see. Anyway, I can use anyone. Yeah, this is the same data set. as I have in here. See, NSE daily, right? And on the web, the same NSE daily. So if I want to work on these data sets, right, I pick it and I say I want to transform this data set. Then I am beginning to do Power Query Online. So it is in this Power Query Online we're going to see those icons. Can you see the icons? It's running. Once it's done, you'll be able to see. Can you see all those icons? Which one is folding? Which one is, so that's what I mean by they've created indicators. Unfortunately, these indicators, you are not going to see the indicators in the traditional Power BI. You're not going to see it in this one, in our file kind of one, the Power BI desktop one. So that's just what it is for now. Maybe they will, but that's what it is right now. Again, in the slide I shared, there's the link. Let me reshare the slide. You will see the links to all of these additional features. So I move on to the next thing I have planned here. This is one very useful thing. So a lot of people keep saying that they are limited, especially if you use Mac, if you're a Mac user. Currently, this session I'm doing is on a Mac. Let me see if you can see that it's on a Mac. I don't want it to close, but you can see I'm on a Mac, except if I have a mirror. But unfortunately, I have to still go and use a separate PC, right? A separate Windows PC for my share screen. Let me see if you can see this PC. So I'm having to use a Windows PC for my presentation. Why? Because for the Mac, we cannot run Power BI desktop. So when people have Mac as their PC, they feel constrained. They keep saying, how then can I practice? So here is one. It's not a perfect answer. It's not a perfect escape, but it's one plus that you now have. So on the Power BI Online, so I'm going to just go straight to logging into Power BI, powerbi.com. So I'm going to the Power BI Online, right? So Power BI Online, I sign in. Sign in. Great. Now I want you to notice something. I'm going to see. Great. I want you to notice this. Can you see that create? That is that new feature that I want to show you. Sorry, I'm having to drink a lot. I don't want to faint. So if I click on create, you will see that there's something new there. So this is one of those new things that you're going to enjoy if you have always been constrained by the fact that you don't have the Power BI desktop installed on your device. Maybe you use a Chromebook, use a MacBook. Then with this, life is good. You know why? This is the very equivalent of, let me close this. No. So back here. So this that we've always had in the Power BI desktop, this enter data, right? Where when you click on it, it allows you to be able to put in data, create a table. I can go into my computer, open an Excel file or copy some data from somewhere else. Say I have some data that I want to demonstrate with. So if I go here and I have a folder and formatting, I need something not too large. Let's pick this. No, this one. This one. Okay, great. What I opened, where is it? Okay, so this is it. So if I have this and I want to, you know, use this for some analysis, right? So I can just copy this and go paste in Power BI. I can copy this and paste here. You see? So this functionality has always been in the desktop one, right? But then we now have it here. So which makes life easy for those of us who don't have the Power BI desktop installed. You can do the same thing. You just paste the data you want to bring in, and then voila, you say table and you let me knock off the signs. Okay, great. Cancel. Yes. So I'm going to cancel this. Then I'm going to repaste it. I don't want to paste it with the Naira sign. It can get confused if you do that. So, and then I'm going to call this sales table. And I click on create. And once I do this, I now have this as a data set for me to use to do analysis, right? So you can still be able to practice a lot of what, you know, would have been impossible to practice because of the, this is even nice. It has tried to do some analysis for me straight up. I don't think it's done what I want anyway. So I'm going to say I want to edit, you know, what is done is not, it's tried, but that's not what I want. And then you see the experience we naturally are used to in Power BI. So I can say, oh, I want to do a column chart, or I want to do, yeah, maybe I want to do this. And I want to drag the values by state. So let's see. Okay. Voila. So you can do your analysis without having to, though you can do formulas, but maybe you clean your data before you paste it there. You'll have worked on it in Excel before you paste it there. So let me move on. So it's one really nice. I was really glad when I heard this because it's going to make life easy for me to explain some things to people who do not have the Power BI desktop installed. And even when I'm working on a small device, maybe on a tablet or on my Mac, I can do some meaningful work. Then there's this new thing too that has been done called Anomaly Detection. So it's a, let's see, if you go into your Power BI and you go to options and settings, if you go to options, and if I increase the zoom, if I go to the preview features, it's one of the preview features. Can you see anomaly detection? If I enable it and I say okay, so it's saying it will take effect, you know, after I restart my computer, right? So what do? I'm going to save my work. I mean, after I restart the Power BI, I'll save what I have here. And let's just take a screenshot of what I have so that when, let's take a screenshot. No. A screenshot so we can compare. So this is a screenshot of what we have, right? I'm going to save this, saved, close it, then go to reopen it. Now I have to exit this. It's taking up a whole lot of space. Come back here, reopen it. So it's coming up. And all right, so I want you to check out if you will notice any difference. Great. So with these tables that I have here, right? See. I guess that table I use is not making things work well. I'm going to just redo the price here, price, and the dates. Okay. That's interesting. The anomaly stuff is not popping up. So normally what's meant to happen is, let me just pick a particular company. I'm supposed to see something that tries to explain to me, you know, what happened at the top. So at the point of okay, I think maybe because the data is a lot. Okay, no problem. I'm going to just verify, because it'd be really nice for you to see it. So let me try and reduce it to just one company. So I'm going to pick, let's pick Guarantee Trust Bank. Okay, great. It is definitely not showing. So let's go check out why it's not showing then. So the anomaly detection stuff is, once you do a table, it instantly pops up. You can see on this chart how it pops up on all the, so let's just go read and see how it works, and maybe hopefully find out what has gone wrong in mine. We've done this, right? Okay, I think I need to go enable it as an additional thing in here under search. So let's just do that part then. So that was the missing bit in my steps. So find anomaly, and then I add and say, let's just go with the default over there. Say good. So it tries to explain, you know, where the things are far apart. Let's see. Yeah. So explained by what will I use to explain mine now? So let's see. I want to explain by let's say by percentage change. Applying. Okay, so let's see. The dot I'm looking for, I'm still not seeing, but time is not on our side. So I'm going to go ahead. The major thing we're already seeing. Okay, so this is anomaly. It's a new feature. That's why you notice that I'm also getting used to it. But then again, that's the way we with new features in Power BI. All right, so there's also small multiples. Small multiples is a very nice feature. I tried using it for a project, but kind of in the end, I decided not to. So let me explain to you what small multiple does. You do a chart. So take, for instance, the line chart. I put a line chart. Now, this line chart I have put, right? I say I want to see for a company. This data I have is for different companies and their stock prices, right? So if I put a company there, company filter, and I pick just that company. So let's say I pick Guaranteed Trust Bank. I apply this. Then I say I want to see this, over the years, how the company's stock price has been. So let's just zoom so you can see what I'm doing. Over the years, I put the date here, how the price has been, price in values. So you see it's going to plot it, right? Now, what is the advantage of small multiples? If I want to see this, and I also want to see for Zenith Bank, am I going to have to duplicate this chart? So before now, is either you plot the two on the same charts, right? Or you duplicate the charts, meaning either I do this, I copy, I paste this. So now I'm having a second chart. So I'm having a second chart that I'm going to come in here and say this is going to be Zenith. Right? So this is the Zenith Bank. Let's add a legend. Oh, see the zoom slide that I was looking for. So now it's showing. Awesome. This is that zoom slide where you can even narrow down to maybe a particular year. Say I want to narrow down to just 2020. Can you notice how it's changing? So it's awesome, right? It's under the format options, zoom slide. So I was looking for it the other time and I was surprised why it wasn't showing. All right, so I'm going to knock it off because that's not the main thing I wanted to demonstrate. So it's either this, I was even looking for legend. Is it my eyes or there's no legend? This is strange. All right, so I'm going to abandon that. So is either we do this or we add the very same name to legend here, right? And then I select the two companies. So I had Zenith here. I had Zenith here. And so we'll see them side by, together. Now I want to show you what's going to happen when I do small multiples. So small multiple, I'm going to just copy, let's copy this one. Or let's do from scratch anyway. So from scratch, so small multiples, what do I do? Similar steps. Date to axis. Okay. I set it as date compulsorily, right? Then I am going to move the price to value, set it as the average as it should be, and then the small multiple is for the name, the same things I picked. So name, I picked Zenith Bank, Zenith, and Guarantee Trust Bank. I'm going to click on apply. So now we have the two, right? So the magic is in that instead of taking the name to legend so that I have them put it in different colors as you see here. I'm going to take the name to small multiples. So I'm going to drag the name to small multiples and see what happens, right? Can you see? It's going to create like different charts. I can even decide to pick additional companies. I can pick First FBN Holdings and add that to it. Let's add one more. I can add which other? I can Stanbic. Stanbic. Stanbic IBTC. Voila. So this is what small multiple does. It allows us to be able to create this kind of a chart. It's really interesting because I've had cases where I needed to do something like this and I used Python because I didn't want to be doing the charts one by one. So with this, you can have that effect where you can have charts that are not going to be like one by one. They will be broken down this way. Hope it's clear. I have just 7 more minutes. I think we are almost towards the end of the presentation anyway. So there's a whole new set of preview features that you will notice in the Power BI when you go to the preview features. So let me just go to preview features. If I go here, and as usual, I go to File, I go to Options and Settings, I go to Options, and it should be up by now. I zoom so you can see my screen clearly, and I go to preview features. You'll see that for me, I noticed new features anyway. The small multiple, well, that I've noticed since December thereabout. There's the anomaly detection. There's the smart narrative. There's things that sometimes I'm careful not to enable everything, so I try to read more, learn more to understand what it does before I come in here to enable them. But you will notice that they have added new features, and you'll find out that some of them will be things that will improve your work. If we had time, we could have picked them one by one and go through the learn more to see what they do, or at least pick the ones that are really, really new. Shape map visual, I don't know when they are going to move it out of preview. It's been in preview since 2017 or even maybe before then. Okay, so I think I should just round up at this moment. I have just 6 more minutes. Any questions from what I have done so far? Anybody with any questions? I know the session looks not like well arranged in terms of like I'm talking about like 7 different things together. Fortunately, that's really where I can try to tell you about all the new features, except if I now try to pick one feature or 2 features and do like a 30 minutes on them. But I felt, let me just do a whole general talking around the different new features that has come up in the last 2-3 months, since December. But any question? Okay, so if no question, there was something I wanted to demonstrate at the beginning that I said because of time I would abandon and maybe come back to. Okay, I wanted to demonstrate how, was it the tabular editor or the dark studio? Maybe we'll do it another day, so I don't just I don't start what I can't finish. Okay, so if no questions, then I guess I will just close the session at this point. So thank you for joining, and I appreciate it. I know it's not a guest we have today, so the number is not as much as we normally get when I find us a presenter. But a good thing to announce to you is that I think it's next week. Let me just go check my schedule. So if you can see here, This, how do I increase the zoom? There used to be a zoom icon here. Let me try the plus sign. Okay, that one worked. Okay, great. Now it's over zoomed. All right, so if you notice, oh, it's not next week. So we have Matt Harlington on 28. I'm still looking for a presenter for next week. If I don't get, then I have to come up with a topic. But we have one of the legends in Power BI. I'm also trying to see if I can grab one of the other people, Marco Russo, the Raid consulting guy. I'm trying to find, because I notice I get a lot of people for Excel. See Excel. So it's looking like Power BI. I'm not in financial modeling. I'm beginning to get people. I think I have some people in the pipeline I'm talking to for finance. But for Power BI, I don't have anybody yet in the pipeline. And I'm still looking for more people. If you have people you want me to speak to, I'll be glad to reach out to them and see if we can get diversity. So thank you very, very much. I'm going to have to stop the session here since you've all decided not to ask any question. Actually, this is the last slide. From here is just questions. So just try, as I've explained, to once in a while. I try to do once a month, but sometimes I don't make it, so I might end up doing once in 2 months. Just go to the Power BI blog. Every time you go there, you'll be able to scroll through whatever new announcements they have, new announcements they've made, and you will be able to, if not fully keep track, but be aware of the new things they've been adding, because as I told you, they've been adding a lot of new things. And don't forget, take advantage of these free courses. Let me just post the link again. Especially the second one. That one is going to expose you. Okay, the slide. Yes, let me reshare the slide. This is the slide. So Anna Karin is asking for the slides. Yeah, this is the slide. Also, this is another training that is going to happen this month, again by Microsoft. It's free. So try and take advantage of these trainings so that you can be aware of not just the one we keep talking about. Almost every time we are talking about the desktop Power BI desktop, we don't get too much people talking about the BI service side, and that's also equally powerful. Okay, so thank you very, very much. I'll have to close the session at this junction. I appreciate your staying to the end, and have a nice week ahead. Bye.